This man is so obsessed with the commander-in-chief, he tries to live exactly like him.
I think it's a healthy obsession.
Aria Williams's obsession began on a rainy Tuesday in October. She wasn't looking for it, just browsing a dusty antique store when she saw it, a meticulously crafted miniature antique desk, a perfect replica of her late grandmother's writing table. She'd spent childhood summers at Grandma Josie's house, watching letters emerge under her cursive pen. That table was gone now, sold long before Aria could say goodbye. This replica, every crack, patina, drawer knob, felt like time travel. She bought it impulsively, almost sacrilegiously, an unauthorized resurrection. One piece became two. Soon Aria found herself scouring flea markets, auction websites, and replica artisans for more. Her grandfather's World War II radio, a vintage turntable her parents once danced to, a decades-old rotary phone. Each item was replica perfect, from shape to sound, digital engineering mimicking analog magic. Her apartment transformed. Walls lined with shelves holding replicas, porcelain teacups, vinyl record players, a deconstructed Polaroid camera that clicked and flashed light, but printed nothing. It was elegiac. It was her grief made tangible. Friends noticed. "Why not keep the originals?" her roommate Lacey asked. But original artifacts were gone. Aria's obsession wasn't about authenticity, it was about memory, about anchoring her past in present forms. She'd spend hours daily polishing knobs, rewinding miniature tape reels, adjusting the faux patina on brass surfaces. Her social life faded. Weekends once meant brunch, now they meant windshield scraping and package arranging. 6 months in, her father came to visit. He froze in the living room. There was his old chair, replicated. The lamp by the desk, replicated. Even the curtain fabric, a perfect match. "It's too much," he said softly. "You can't live in replicas of our past." He insisted she take a break, a day off. That night, Aria had nightmares. Halloween skeletons in Grandmama's house, skeletons holding replicas of herself, staring blankly at her obsession. In desperation, she searched for others like her and found an online forum, Replica Realms. Stories streamed in, someone building a full town square in miniature, another creating exact replicas of childhood toys that had been lost, another replicating a deceased pet's dimensions in bronze. There Aria found Julian, who replicated historical instruments and performed on them. They struck an odd kinship. Video calls led to real connection. He invited her to a replica convention in Atlanta, a gathering of the unusual but devoted. Atlanta's convention center buzzed with thousands of replica addicts. Booths displayed ultra-realism. Vintage cars shrunk to 1/8 scale, functioning Victorian parlors recreated in 3D prints, even edible rice paper replicas of pastries that tasted right. Julian's booth featured a playable replica of a 1920s phonograph. Aria watched in awed silence as soothed notes crackled out. She realized these replicas were more than memory, they were performance, art, ritual. There was tension, though. That night, Aria returned to her hotel and discovered a mini replica global map exhibit in another hall had been vandalized. Tiny buildings knocked down. Streets crumbled. The craftsmanship ruined. She whispered in horror, wanting to cry. Julian found her. "Why did someone do this?" she demanded. He answered, "Because some people think it's pointless, just copies." That stung. Aria retreated into self-doubt. Was she wasting time building illusions? At a midnight rally, obsessed collectors held up their replica pieces, like fragile altars. A speaker, a woman replicating her late daughter's favorite blanket, said, "These replicas aren't lies. They're tributes. They remind us what mattered." Aria wept. Her obsession wasn't merely replication, it was reverence. Returning home, Aria overhauled her collection. She donated duplicates, kept only those with emotional resonance. She placed the replicas not around, scattered aimlessly, but in a dedicated memory room with photos and journals. She resumed human connection. Lacey and her father joined her one evening in that room. They touched the objects, told stories, laughed. She realized she hadn't lost the past, just reopened it for conversation. Aria started crafting new replicas with friends and neighbors, objects they all once loved or lost. A broken biscuit tin from her childhood friend's house, an old communal swing, an heirloom recipe box. They held monthly gatherings, sharing stories and touching memory through replicas. The artifacts became bridges between people, not prisons. A year later, Aria received a commission to craft a high school drama club's replica of their old auditorium, demolished years ago. The crushed seats, the stained glass lobby, the stage wings, all recreated in miniature. At unveiling, alumni wept. They touched the scale figures and chairs. They sang, "That's our stage." Aria stood back, proud. A replica had become a vessel again, not for obsession alone, but collective memory.